So which means you've got till 7:10, so you got a lot of soft shooting.
Right, let's Happy New Year.
We do resolutions, come back.
Did you guys get that?
Okay, are we ready, Dan? Diane, you let me know. You're driving this train.
What are you doing? What is this?
That's in the back right there.
Are these for the IDA?
No, these are actually, wind generator.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I don't know the
Well, one's secret.
See a secret?
Yeah, the secret's gonna go first, and then the other one is second.
I think I have them here.
And Bobby,
You want to take
you
them?
have them already? Okay.
Tara
Yeah.
gave them to me.
Okay, so I'll give you. Secret's going first, they're all gonna come over forward.
Okay, I have these in my packet, or I don't have them?
Don't, you should. If you do, that's great.
This is Michael Eccles stuff.
Right, I didn't see it.
Oh, I have to do it.
This is us being green.
Unlisted action, so we're negative.
This is stuff that he told us about.
Was I here? I thought it was.
This is the, oh, this is the wind.
Yes, then what is this here?
That's part of it. One of it's the secret, one of them is the secret determination, one of them is actually bond.
One's calling a town board meeting, no?
One's calling a public hearing for the bond. And one is a secret determination for the bond.
Right.
All right, Ms. Wilhelm.
Ready.
So which one is this?
Dennis, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, everyone, welcome to the January 19th Town Board meeting. Rabbi Seamers, I think you're going to do the invocation today. And microphones there, sitting, standing, what would you like? What's your pleasure?
Supervisor Walters,
You can take that out.
distinguished council men and women, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the 15th of Shvat in the Jewish calendar, which makes it the new year for trees, so Happy New Year. At this time, we remember that all of creation is a gift, that man was placed in the Garden of Eden. We were placed there, l'shomra u'ovda, to guard it and to serve it. And we're reminded that the goods that we have in this world are not ours just to consume, but for ours to be caretakers for. So we pray that the one who teaches men wisdom will teach us wisdom and discernment, will guide us in the right paths. And at this point, we probably do have plenty of snow. Let us say, Amen.
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 Rabbi from Seamers from Temple Israel and Riverhead, thank you very much, sir, for doing our invocation. We appreciate your time. And Jim says I have to do the soft shoe. The 7:05 public hearing was canceled. Apparently, some numbers in the official newspaper were transposed, and they're not correct. So they have to be everything's my fault. So we have to have cancel the public hearing, and we will do a notice at the next board meeting to rehear it. I don't know, should we make Tim Gannon come up and sing or something? Because we have until
Well, we have 5 minutes, but by the time we get through.
5 minutes. Well, I don't know, Tim Gannon singing?
Well, we want people to stick around, we want people to leave.
This is true. Okay, Diane.
Oh, want to do the agenda?
Let's approve the
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, approve the minutes.
Let's approve.
Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes, yes.
Can I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the town board meeting for January 4th, 2011? So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
One night we're gonna need water, because we're doing all this stuff cooking amongst the three of us.
Under Town
Reports.
Hall reports, tax receiver, total tax collection dated January 6th, $34,565,429.33 was taken in. On January 13th, 2011, the total was $47,582,312.42. Landmark Preservation Commission submitted their annual report to the town board for 2010. Under correspondence, Sal Mastropolo submitted a letter dated January 18th, and this is his suggestions regarding the possibility of hiring a director for the dog shelter. And that's it.
Okay, are there any reports, committee reports?
No, unfortunately.
You know, it's interesting, when I first started here, it's not interesting to the public, but I'll say the story. This $47 million and $34 million, I happen to bank at the same bank as Suffolk County National Bank, so after I got elected and I went in to cash a check, they said, oh, you have plenty of money. Because if you don't know your account number and you put your name in, all the town accounts come up. At that point, they said, oh, and by the way, true story, you're overdrawn in these accounts. So it is interesting that is all you sign as the town supervisor. You're personally liable for all this money, and I don't think I'll ever get that close to all this money for as long as I live. All right, that's the only story I have. I guess what we'll do is take comments on the resolutions. Would anybody like to speak on the resolutions? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Steve Romano, Riverhead.
How you doing, Mr. Peru?
Good, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Question on Resolution 56, the adoption of the garden. Have the rules, regulations, or mechanics, who, what, where, when, have they been established? And if so, where would one find them? In other words, how would you apply if you wanted a plot? If you did get a plot and you started planting and you walked away from it, what would happen, kind of thing?
I think, well, hold on, let me get to that. What we're doing is doing a license agreement with the community gardens people, and the town attorney has to draft a license agreement. I don't think that it's going to be that level of detail. These guys are a 501c3 not-for-profit agency, so we're kind of, this is a new thing for us, and I think that we'll probably rely on our town attorney to draft something that gives us some flexibility, but leave a lot of flexibility to the community gardens people. So the short answer is no, I don't think everything's been worked out, just the identification of the plot, the location, the concept, and I can assure the board before we sign any license agreement with them, I will give them a copy of it to take a look at it first.
And they're all very valid questions. I think what would be a good suggestion is to possibly put a community garden link to the website to where you can contact the people and then know the availability of lots that are left, and then you'll know how to get one.
Yeah, well, that would have been my question. My first question is, how would one go about applying for, I believe there was like 35 or 40 plots?
Yes.
I think that I'd have to look in my book, but the two ladies that were here will probably, I think they're the owners, if you will, of the not-for-profit. That's not exactly right.
So basically, we're going to be dealing with that group rather than the town directly?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But at some point, there'd be contacts that citizens can contact that group?
Absolutely, and I don't think that it'd be much better probably for you to deal with them than try to deal with the town.
Okay.
I mean, if there's any issues or anything, obviously, we all do constituent services, and I'm frantically looking through my,
Amy Davidson?
Amy Davidson, that was the name I was looking for, Amy Davidson.
Okay.
I think she's one of our point of contacts. If you talk to the deputy supervisor, she can give you the names.
Thank you.
But if you're interested,
And I'm sure they're gonna have their rules and regulations and all that stuff. for
I think it's gonna be great.
Each grower.
Yeah, it sounds like a great program.
Yeah.
Boy, retirement is good, huh, Steve?
What's that?
Retirement is good.
Yeah, I'm looking to get one of those garden plots if I can.
What is the
you go.
vegetable that I didn't know that the
Sorrel.
Sorrel,
Somebody
sorrel,
better
whatever
bring
the
me
heck it was, yeah.
sorrel. Somebody
Sorrel.
better bring me some of that
Bob.
from this garden.
Sorrel.
I have one other question in regards to Resolution 64. That reappoints a member to the Accessory Apartment Review Board. Several months back, I came and I spoke to the board in regards to this review board. I know that they lowered salaries. They actually cut back the members. But I got to tell you, unless the results have changed, my recommendation would just to be get rid of this, because the last conversation I had, I think 10 people have applied for permits. I could be wrong. And if you run the numbers, with our economic fiscal crisis that we have, it's probably costing town taxpayers about $3,000 or $4,000 per permit, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I know the intentions were well-meaning. Again, unintended consequences of probably something that was good that, as far as I know, just hasn't panned out.
Yeah, no, we've been down the road. We were going to abolish it. I think we went as far as holding the public hearing to amend the code, and the majority of the board decided not to abolish it. If the board tells me that they'll vote differently, some of us felt similar to what you're saying, some of us felt we shouldn't abolish it.
It really would require rewriting the entire town code,
Right, and not only that, but
not just,
I feel it's important to have an independent board reviewing these applications rather than one person in the building department deciding who gets an accessory apartment and who doesn't. And they also visit the site, they go make sure that there's ample room for parking so that the cars are not parked on the street. They make sure that the square footage is what it's supposed to be. Some of those things are often caught on the accessory apartment review board level as the application is being advanced, that aren't caught
You
on
mean
the building
the
department
board
level.
members themselves do this?
yes.
Yes.
They go out to the site?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But just out of curiosity, have we had any increase in permit applications for the accessory
Well, we had
apartments?
3 last month.
Yes, there have been, and
It's not the overwhelming we thought it would be, but
Yeah.
as long as there's some, I mean, it might come to a point where the accessory apartment review might have to meet on a need basis.
Well, that was going to be my other recommendation. Couldn't you pay them per meeting, and maybe they'd meet on a more, like a
That may be
quarterly
better way to go.
basis?
Right.
Yeah.
That may be better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but in response to that also, a lot of the applications that have been submitted, I've spoken to the people that have submitted accessory apartment review board applications, and they're looked at immediately and they're approved almost immediately if they meet all the guidelines. So
Right.
it's actually a much quicker process than it would be if you were just going to the building department per se.
Thank you.
Okay, 7:10 having arrived, we have a public hearing. This is consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 64 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Fire Prevention. And this is an adjustment in our fee structure to bring it still less than the surrounding towns, but more in line with the surrounding towns. Does anybody wish to be heard on this matter? Nobody wishing to be heard on this matter. Why don't we close the public comment portion of this hearing and leave it open to written comment to Friday, if I'm doing this right, January 18th, not 18th, 28th? Is that Friday the 28th? It is Friday the 28th, yes. So we'll leave it open for written comment to Friday, January 28th. I think 7:15's arrived. What do you folks think?
Go ahead.
2 seconds if you would.
Okay.
The computer just decided to say, go.
Just waiting for our court reporter to,
Yeah, but what's ready?
that's all right. What's your name, miss?
Terry.
Terry.
Want to see you? Sorry.
I put my remote this time.
Okay.
Okay, Terry, you let us know when you're ready.
Just
just for the record, I was ready at Court Road.
Well, that should be the first thing you type.
I guess I fell asleep and said, forget it, I don't want to do it now.
Okay,
Patience, I had to bring it back up.
that's fine.
Apologize.
That's the copy with the pictures in the
Yeah,
file.
this is the, right, such.
I think they've been in contact with the bank multiple times, and they're just dragging their feet. That's why for a bank. I know we can ask them. I don't know if we're talking about it.
I'll do the backup that way.
Okay, just in case.
Jim Macy.
Just make sure we speak.
It's a cardinal, isn't it?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, we're gonna open the public hearing scheduled for 7:15. This is a Chapter 54 public hearing to hear all interested persons regarding the alleged unsafe structure building at 77K Road, Calverton. Seems that this structure was involved in a fire. There was significant damage. It appears the owners may have walked away, and the building is wide open, and the town needs to, there you go, and the town needs to take action to board the building up and render it safe. Mr. Devonsky, our fire marshal, if you would lead us in this Chapter 54, that would be fantastic.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We're here in regard to the fire damage structure at 77K Road, Suffolk County Tax Map number 115.1-1-43.
Yeah, we should swear you in.
Probably should.
We should. Good idea.
Would you raise your right hand? Repeat after me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And for the record, your name?
My name is Scott Devonsky, Davonski, Chief Fire Marshal for the town of Riverhead.
Okay. And I'd like to ask just a couple
No,
of
you
prefatory
should.
comments.
Go right ahead, Bob. It's not good for me.
When were you, can you please state for the record when you were hired by the town of Riverhead as the Chief Fire Marshal?
December of 2007. I
Okay,
believe.
and you've been so employed in that capacity since that time?
Since then, yes.
Okay, and what are your duties as Chief Fire Marshal for the town of Riverhead?
The enforcement of the Fire Prevention Code, Chapter 64 of the town, along as the town code, the New York State Fire Prevention and Building Code.
Okay, and do you have to attend classes for training in order to be certified as a fire marshal?
I'm a New York State certified code enforcement official as required by the civil service requirements and the Department of State of the State of New York. Annually, we go through the initial training, and annually we have to take 24 hours of in-service training credits.
Now, prior to working for the town of Riverhead, did you work in a similar capacity with any other municipality?
I worked for 13 years for the town of Southampton as a fire marshal.
I'm going to let him now go into a little bit of narrative, if I may. Thank you.
Okay, so the property in question was damaged by fire on October 27th of 2010. Two pictures from when the fire was actually occurring on the property. Since that time, the property is actually in the foreclosure process. The bank and the property owner are still in court from the title and from the conversations I've had with the mortgage holder, which is GMAC. I was working with them to try to get them to secure the property. To this date, there's been no action on that. December 16th was when the process actually started to go formal to try to get them to rectify the issue. You will note by looking at the picture on the screen and in the PowerPoint that was handed out that the front windows of the building are broken out, which happened during fire suppression operations. The soffit on top is actually burned out. And if you look at the back part of the structure, which is where the main volume of fire was when the fire occurred on the property, is still open to the elements with severe structural deficiencies, as you can see. A follow-up inspection was conducted on December 17th, at which point the notice of violation that was sent to the mortgage company, to the mortgage holder, because he still is on the deed for the county, as well as the attorneys that were representing the case, all received a copy of the notice of violation. They were sent out via certified mail and all signed for. There you see the notice actually posted on the property, as well as the official postings to keep out of the property, no trespassing, and the red placard is the section of the New York State Fire Prevention and Building Code, which is in violation. The public hearing, which we're here for tonight, was posted on the property on January 3rd, 2011. You will note that there's no change to the properties between the past couple photos. The front windows are still broken out, front door is still open, and the rear of the building is still severely damaged. Okay, the last inspection I did on the property, actually I did one today, I did a drive-by to make sure that nothing was done on the property. But yesterday when I was at the site, you can notice all the snow to prove I was there yesterday. You'll see that nothing has changed on the property. The front, is still open to the elements, and there's a better picture of the rear of the building. Like I said, that's where a majority of the fire damage occurred during the fire suppression.
Now, going back to October 27th, you were present when the fire was underway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and were you also present when the fire was totally put out and under control?
Well, yes, when it was
And
extinguished.
you performed an inspection of the premises at that time, is
Correct.
that right?
Yep.
And I know you testified to the condition. It was accessible to the general public. It can be, people can gain entry.
Correct.
There's been, there were no boards or anything that was placed at that time on October 27th, is that right?
No, sir.
Okay. And is it in the same condition when you posted the property with the notice of violation on December 17th?
Yeah, there's been no changes.
And you personally were present and you inspected the premises,
Correct.
is that correct? Okay. Again, no boarding of the premises
Correct.
and accessible to the general public.
That is correct.
Now, the structural deficiencies that you described, can you go into a little further detail as to what you observed?
If you look at the rear portion, which is the most fire damaged area of the building, the roof structure on the entire would be the northern part of the building is actually completely burned away. You can see part of the roof structure here. You can see the majority of the roof is actually missing. The interior structural elements supporting the remainder of the walls, what are in there, obviously suffered major structural damage as a result of the fire. So at this point, with the remaining roof intact, the loads will not be supported properly for that building at this point.
And the conclusion that you just stated, that the roof cannot be supported based upon the loads are not able to be supported, that's based upon your training as a code enforcement official?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And also based upon your experiences that you previously testified to?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Now, with regard to the posting that was done in connection with the Chapter 54, who handled that posting?
I did the posting, sir.
And do you have an affidavit of posting that you made as a result of the posting? But you're testifying to say.
Yes, I will testify that, yes, I did post the
Okay.
property.
Now, did you also send notices to the property owners?
Notices were sent to the property owners, yes.
And do you have those with you today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'd like to have those admitted into evidence as number one, Town of Riverhead number one.
You do it, okay.
Yes.
Brings back memories, this practicing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while. And did you also prepare a report of your findings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you have that with you today?
Yes, I do.
And was that prepared by you in your usual and ordinary course of your duties as Chief Fire Marshal?
Yes, sir.
And did you in fact prepare it in the ordinary and usual course of your duties as Chief Fire Marshal?
Yes, sir.
And was it prepared at or about the time that you conducted your inspection of the premises at 77K Road, Calverton?
The report was actually generated on January 5th.
Okay. I would like to ask that that also be admitted into evidence as Town of Riverhead number 2 in
Please
connection
do.
with Chapter 54. And just for the record, the location, 77K Road, which is also known as tax map 0600-115.10143, is that located in the Town of Riverhead,
Yes, sir.
County Suffolk,
Yes, sir.
State of New York?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And based upon your observations and the condition of the premises today, what is your conclusion as to what should be done with this property pursuant to Chapter 54?
Based upon the fact that there has been no changes at the property since the day the fire damage occurred to the building, and with the structural deficiencies as well as the accessibility that the building has to the general public, my recommendation is the building be secured and or demolished.
Thank you. Is there anything else from anyone else?
Is it possible to secure the building in this
Most likely not, just based upon the amount of damage to the rear of the building. You can see that's going to be very difficult to secure. The only possibility would be fencing around the front part of the building.
So we should immediately, once we adopt this, fence the building and secure it with boards as best we can.
As best we can.
Because we basically have to go to bid for a contractor to knock this down.
Correct.
You did testify, I'm sorry, that you had communicated with individuals by,
Correct.
was that by telephone?
It was by telephone, via email, and via fax.
Okay, and those efforts have been unsuccessful, is that correct?
The last email I got today from the young lady at GMAC Mortgage, may I read it?
I would do so.
Okay.
If the town
That's
board
fine,
is
yes.
okay with that?
Okay. Hi, Scott. I have submitted the demo bids to the investor, and they have not yet provided a response. I have sent a follow-up request. I am waiting on a response from the attorney so I can approve for them to appear at the hearing tonight.
Is anybody here from the bank or anybody related to the 77K road? Nobody raised their hands? Neighbors?
We live on K Road.
Okay, but nobody no owner or anything like that? Okay.
To continue on, do you have an estimated time frame for the date of demolition will be set after the hearing if it's determined to proceed with the demolition, and what the estimated cost will be? Thanks. Sorry for the delay, but my hands are tied. Have a great day. Nikki Zaleski, GMAC Mortgage, Major Violations and Demolitions.
Thank you.
It's unfortunate for them because this goes on their tax bill.
I just had one question for you, Mr. Devonsky. You were there at the fire on October 27th?
That is correct.
You responded. Was the house habitable at the time? I mean, was there
There was
people
no
in the house?
there was nobody at the house at the time of the fire.
It was almost abandoned at that point?
Correct. It was in the foreclosure
It
process
was
at
in
that
foreclosure,
point.
so the bank had possession at that time?
It was in the process.
Okay, this pushed it over the edge, I guess. All right, thank you.
Is it a suspicious fire?
It's currently under investigation.
Okay, we won't go any further than that. And in your professional opinion, this is an unsafe structure?
Yes, sir.
And it needs to be boarded up and/or taken down?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Does the board have anything else to add? All right, does anybody else wish to be heard on this? We're looking for testimony, not that it looks bad, we're looking for testimony that it's unsafe, it's not boarded up, and you can speak, but that type of testimony, unsafe, it's not boarded up, people can get in the, we know it looks bad. But go ahead, you can testify. I'm sorry. Go ahead, no, you can testify.
All right, I live
No,
directly.
you have to step up and we have to swear you in.
If I may, for one moment, I'd like to also submit into evidence the copy of the certified deed from Suffolk County with,
Okay,
with
Thank
the
you very much.
with
Yes.
the property owner and the mortgage company.
okay, thank you. That would be, we'll mark that as.
That would be town number 3.
Okay, miss, go ahead.
Hi, Dorothy Madonia, 74
And
K
I'm
Road.
going to ask you to raise your right hand, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Just spell your last name.
Madonia.
Thank you.
I live directly across the street from it. So I've had to look at it since the day it went on fire. And as you can see from the pictures, it's really not even half a house anymore. So I'm really hoping that it will be demolished, you know? I mean, right now it's winter and the children aren't really, you know, interested. But once the spring comes,
What
we'll have a problem.
What happens with our process is we have to go out to public bid unless the highway department wants to do it. And once we go out to public bid, we have to prepare a bid package for 30 days. We'll probably be in a position, and I hate to say this, late winter to do this. We can send somebody, once we leave this open for written comment, and then at the next board meeting, we would probably, if the board is poised to do it, adopt a resolution to immediately board the property as best we can, and then prepare the bid specification. And in the interim, you know, we do usually have conversations with the highway superintendent to see if this is a structure that he can take down, and then we pay him the wage rates that are set to take it down. So it takes us a little bit of time, bear with us.
Oh, I understand. This is right now, forget it.
We'll get it done.
Ma'am, your house is similar to this one?
Yes, I
I
have a basement.
hope it doesn't have that big
though.
hole in the roof.
Do you know if that's
No,
a-
I don't have a hole.
Do you know if
in
there's
it.
a basement in that house, or is that on slab?
Actually, when the builder built the homes back in '73, he offered, option for a basement
Do you know if that has
wanted it.
one?
So my house has a basement.
Does that one, do you know?
No.
It does not, it's on a slab.
No, it's on a slab.
That makes it easier, okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time.
Gio, can I borrow one of your bulldozers?
That could be a good,
I'll do
fun
myself.
job. No, come on, I'd be better on a bulldozer than
You
him.
found it.
Only if you're under it.
Oh, yeah. There's that level for the... Strike that from the record. Go ahead, miss.
Good evening, I'm Susan Serowitz-Keeney.
You are.
I own the house
Susan,
that
I'm
is
gonna ask you
right
to do the
north-
same
Oh,
thing.
okay, cuz,
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Ms. Keeney,
I-
what brings you here today?
I own the house just south of this 73. We're at 73. My daughter and grandchildren live at that house that I own. And I just want to say that I'm glad that this is in process of what you're doing. You're a good board. And I know you're going to do the right thing. And I know Gio and his group can just take a bulldozer and go clunk, and it'll be just like it is on TV,
Sue,
He's
go
a good
sit
guy.
next to Gio and butter him up a little bit before we have that conversation.
I can always bring up some baked goods to him or something, whatever, or coffee. But it really is in a terrible shape. And I know there are animals that are there, like you know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I'm
yes.
so afraid. I have a 6-year-old grandson, and he likes to wander sometimes. And having that next door like that, I am concerned. And we do watch him, but I'm quite concerned. And there are other small children in the area.
I suspect the board will take action at the next board meeting with regard to this, and the residents will be happy, I'm sure, with our action. As I said, it may take a little bit of time to do it,
I
but
know,
we will
but
do
you're
it.
doing good. I'm very
Thank you.
pleased, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? Seeing no hands, we will close the public comment portion of this meeting and leave it open for written comment until January 28th, Friday, January 28th at 4:30 in the town clerk's office. And I think the board will make a decision on, I think it's the February 1st or 2nd meeting. First, I think it is. Okay, excuse me, thank you. There, Mr. Zavonsky, thank you very much. What we'll do is reopen the town.
Do you wanna take a little break to let our steno sneak out?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. We'll take a little,
Thank you.
I know we went on.
Good. All right,
we'll take a little break so we can,
Break
let him, shut down his PowerPoint presentation.
go right
Is
ahead.
that all right?
I haven't had to do this in so long.
Got Rex
You know what's
Farr
great
out
about
there,
it is, as I'm writing, it all comes up, and it's back
our
up.
union boss,
So when they start doing the talk, I've got it.
Mr. Hanley.
Well, it is, just like, what a finish.
I see him all over there.
3200 extension 260.
We got Newsday here today.
Okay. If I need you, I'll be about the week. Thanks.
Yeah, he's not awake. He doesn't even know we're talking about him.
Mitch, I have a Keurig in my office.
Mitch, you awake over there? This is for the public. This is the entertainment portion of the town board meeting for the publics. All right. Okay, we'll get, does anybody wish to be heard on the resolutions? Nobody else wishing to be heard on the resolutions? Okay, then, Diane, let's call the resolutions.
Resolution 42.
42, Water District Estate of Rowley Land Acquisition Capital Project, budget adjustment, budget adoption. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 43.
Authorization of the Riverhead IDA Economic Job Development Corporation. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 44.
Awards bid for abandoned junk vehicles. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. This is funny, this order. It doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't.
Missing a few names. Resolution 45.
Appoints a chaplain to the police department. Mr. Bonaparte. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Welcome aboard, Deacon Bonacore.
Yes.
That is our, I don't know if that's our first police chaplain, but,
I think so.
yeah, this is kind of a historic moment. We've appointed a police chaplain, so that's pretty neat.
Resolution 46.
Extends bid contract with Burt's Reliable Fuel. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 47.
Authorization to publish advertisement for removal of household hazardous waste, hazmat, for town of Riverhead. So moved.
A second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 48.
Authorization to publish advertisement for municipal solid waste for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 49.
Authorization to publish advertisement for surplus unscreened compost mulch for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 50.
50 appoints a part-time recreation aide volleyball attendant to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 51.
Appoints a part-time recreation aide volleyball official to the recreation department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 52.
52 ratifies and sets salaries of various Recreation Youth Bureau employees for the year 2011. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 53.
Sets the fees for usage of recreation and other town facilities. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 54.
54 sets salaries of various recreation employees for the year 2011. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 55.
Set salaries for 2011 part-time call-in personnel for the Riverhead Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 56.
56 adopts a community garden located at West Main Street, Riverhead, described as Suffolk County Tax Map 600-128-3, 72.1, and authorizes the supervisor to execute license agreement with River and Roots. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 57.
Adopts a local law amending Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code. Were we going to, this was just the correction.
Housekeeping.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 58.
I would like to table this resolution. So I make a motion to table the resolution.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please as the table.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
This is the table for further discussion. Yes, the table.
Walter.
No.
So this is not tabled.
It's not tabled.
It's not tabled. What is it?
So we gotta go, so it's, I have to, so then I will offer it. If it's not tabled, then I will, authorize the supervisor to execute a stipulation with Local 1000, AFSCME, AFO, CIO, Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk County Local 852. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
This was emailed to me sometime over the weekend, I'm told, by the chief of staff. I saw it for the first time at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I think it should have been discussed in executive session on Thursday. We've had plenty of time since December 27th until now to discuss this. This is giving all the employees from the town of Riverhead the day off on December 27th because of the snow. I think that if that were the case, that it should have been deemed a snow emergency, and I wouldn't be asked to vote on this tonight. So I will abstain.
Wooten.
This pretty much is SOP. I mean, we've done this before. It's rare that we
I think we did it
take
at the
a
last.
snow day.
Didn't we do it the last snow?
December 2009 one.
I mean,
Yeah, that was
I think we
when
did it
the
once during the
supervisor.
flood too, so I'm going to, I'm gonna vote yes on it, although it doesn't matter at this point.
Walter.
Yes.
So it didn't get adopted.
Resolution
No.
not adopted.
59.
Resolution 59.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a musical works license agreement with Sessick LLC. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 60.
Authorizes antennas for Riverhead Ambulance District at the EPCAL site in accordance with the East End Wireless lease agreement. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 61.
Approves the renaming of the southern portion of Horton Avenue, a town of Riverhead Road, to Horton Avenue South. So moved.
Seconded.
We have discussion on this, didn't
Well,
somebody
I'm not gonna support it.
Yeah, didn't somebody come forward and say they wanted to name it Caffrey Road?
Yeah,
they
because
were-
Caffrey was Caffrey's farm.
Right.
So
Did you get that resolution, Caffrey's?
Well, that was a letter that John had
Letter.
gotten from, that he read into the record about two meetings ago.
Right.
Who is Caffrey? I mean,
They live
was
on
that
this, they
farm?
live on this dead-end road that was created after the circle was put in. And it was Caffrey's farm that property was on, so she's, instead of Horton Avenue South, she thought maybe it'd be better to call it Caffrey Court.
Should we table this?
Yeah, I have no
We can
problem with
table it.
Caffrey Court. I'm not gonna vote for it because I think that there's two, I think she said there's 2 or 3 houses, so if you
Right.
wanna take, you wanna withdraw your moving of it and move to table it, that would be fine.
Yes, I'd like to do that.
All right, so why don't we make a motion to table, table?
I'll second the table.
Okay, so you're moving to table, you're seconding,
Okay.
vote on tabling it.
Okay. Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution has been tabled.
We might have to republish it so that, for Caffrey, if that's.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
So were you in favor of Caffrey? That was the letter we received, so if
Yeah.
the board, Tara, if you could put this back on for the 27th to discuss, that would be good.
Resolution
Okay.
62.
62 authorizes the waiver of a 30-day notification required by the New York State Liquor Authority. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution
This is for
adopted.
the Riverhead project, formerly, well, I don't wanna say formally, but the Frisky Oyster, Dennis McDermott. This is the new bar restaurant he's
We
opening
still
up
gotta talk about that name.
in the Chase building.
Resolution 63.
Authorizes the law office of Richard Ehlers to act as special counsel and authorizes the supervisor to execute a retainer agreement. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 64.
Reappoints member to the Accessory Apartment Review Board. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 65.
Authorizes the release of security of Gen. Homes, Inc., AKA Osborne Acres subdivision, water key money, and park and recreational fees. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 66.
Authorizes the release of site plan security of Broadview Ventures Incorporated, also known as JR Irrigation. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 67.
67 is resolution to pay bills. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Ooh, imagine if I said no, we don't pay the bills. Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
And we
We
have
have two from the floor. What are we numbering them by?
It would be 68 and 69.
68 would be the secret,
Right.
and 69 would be the calling for the public hearing.
68,
Okay,
69.
Can I get a motion? This is for our new, the town is going to be looking at selling bonds to install a wind turbine that will supply 40% of the current power requirements of the Riverhead Sewer District, and this authorizes us to sell the bonds to do it. Makes us 68 is the secret determination. 69 authorizes us to have the public hearing for the sale of the bonds, and the public hearing will be held on February 15th at 7:05. And a neat thing about this is this wind turbine within 8 years will have in 8 years it will have paid for itself, and in year 9 will start generating money for the ratepayers of the Riverhead Sewer District. So it is kind of a neat thing, and can we?
Well, we're just gonna make sure that when the turbine goes around, it blows everything south.
That being said, can we?
And now 68 is the resolution call for the secret determination?
68
Right,
secret,
68
69, if we could move both of them off the floor, that would be great. Can we get a motion to move both of them off the floor?
Can I make a motion, we move resolution 68 and 69 off the floor, so moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 68 and 69 are taken off the floor.
Okay, let's vote on them.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 68, which is the secret determination prepared by Joe Hall of the Town of Riverhead Planning Department. So moved.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 68 is adopted. Resolution 69.
I'd like to move resolution 69 to increase an improvement of the facilities of the Riverhead Sewer District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, and call for a public hearing. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 69 is adopted.
Okay. We'll open the meeting up for comments from the public for 5 minutes on any subject they wish to discuss. Good evening.
Hello, Dominique Mendez, Wading River, Riverhead Neighborhood Preservation Coalition. And I'm going to be brief. I just wanted to confirm something, really. The last town board meeting, Sean, you stated that the attorney's office is looking into the use issue on Great Rock. Basically, if the expansion would require a special permit for an expansion of a non-conforming use from the town board. And that will, and you mentioned that that would be in writing. There will be a formal opinion from the attorney's office.
Yes.
And I just wanted to, I assume, but I wanted to confirm that that must mean that the planning board will not move forward with a resolution until that issue has been resolved and a formal report has been done.
Bob,
That's
I
it.
think that's a fair assumption. We're still
It
waiting.
seemed like a good assumption, but I
Yeah.
wanted to
Planning board
confirm.
opinion, and I know that the planning board is looking for some clarification of that issue.
Right, and they wouldn't vote until, okay, that's it. I
my
just wanted,
understanding.
great, thank you very much.
All right, thank
That
you.
they wouldn't vote on it until
Yes.
that, and it would be in writing also, an opinion. Yes. That's what Sean had mentioned
Yes.
last time.
Yeah, we'll have a written opinion.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Steve Romano, Riverhead. Resolution 58. If I would have known the stipulation was, as Councilwoman Giglio stated, I would have come up to make some comments. The last time the town did this, they're correct, was 2009, and I spoke at the following meeting to say I disagreed with the free day off. I was told that the supervisor called a state of emergency for the town, and that was the real reason to give the free day off. At the time, I recommended why not allow employees to charge off vacation, personal or sick, or even if they didn't have that, How about you give them the day off, but they make up the 7 or 8 hours, working an hour extra each day? So I disagree. I know it's a moot point, but I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you.
Okay. Second question I had in regard to 77K Road, just out of curiosity, if the town does the demo work and say there's a $2,000 bill, if it goes on the tax bill, won't it be on the following year tax bill? And the reason why I'm asking, suppose somebody comes along and purchases the property. Who pays the tax? Wouldn't it be they're going to get penalized?
In a foreclosure,
Yeah.
taxes receive priority. So even if the bank bought the property back, the bank will be responsible to pay the pet taxes to the county. And what happens is we'll put it on the tax bill. Chances are the tax bill won't be paid. The County of Suffolk pays the town of Riverhead for that portion of the taxes, including this. And when that property is ultimately sold, when the referee ultimately sells the property, the bank will be responsible to pay the taxes, or the owner. But it is a priority. It does get paid. It gets paid ahead of the mortgage.
Very good. The other question, anybody is there insurance on this property? An insurance company?
I'm sure the bank probably has its own insurance.
Yeah, pretty weird.
It's not our property.
Yeah. And just a curiosity question, as the hotel's going up, it's great. The other end, what happened to Summerwind? I thought that was like a given project, a grant from the county.
We just signed the Mylars.
And the building permit was just issued last Thursday, so now the closing can occur with the county and demolition should start shortly.
Oh, great. That's going to be great. Thank you.
It was a little bit of which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
No, I thought maybe the project got kind of like canceled,
no, it's
so that's great.
Still very much going forward.
Great, thank you.
But there is no holdup on the Riverhead side.
Anybody else?
Not Riverhead holdup.
Rex Farr.
No,
How you doing, sir? How you feeling?
Everybody.
Good.
I've been asked to speak on behalf of Pat Lynch and Gail Wallers, also certainly on my own behalf.
Wait, can I give you some really good news that I just got?
Go ahead.
It's not really a press release, but Carol gave this to me, and this happened like at 5:30.
Thanks for sharing it.
I'm going to share it right now. I asked Carol, as I've said, well, you can take a look at it. I've asked Carol to look for veterinarians to come into the animal shelter to care for the dogs, and she's been calling different vets. And there's this at Riverhead Animal Hospital. This Dr. LaCar has agreed to come in for $28 a dog to look at every dog, and we sort of deem this as an emergency given the circumstances of the things we know that some of the dogs have had and things that people have alleged the dogs have had. So I've asked her to set that up for the first half of the dogs to be screened on Friday. And as soon as Dr. LaCar can do the next half, we'll do it the next half of the dogs. And my goal is this, listen, nobody's happy about what happened with Bruno, least of all me. But if something positive can come out of this, let this be a wake-up call to me in the town. We will have veterinarian service for these dogs while they're in that shelter. So we've asked Dr. LaCar from, again, the Riverhead Animal Hospital, come speak to the board on the 27th to talk about what type of services he can offer, and have him come in, if the board so chooses, have him come in on a regular basis. I don't know whether it'd be once a month or every 2 weeks to evaluate the dogs. And honestly, this just happened. My text messages.
I don't know, maybe it has to come in every 2 weeks.
Well, that is good news, I suppose, but it's only part of the solution. And Sean, I can appreciate it because you've only been on this issue for about a year. We've been fighting this issue close to 6 years intensely, and a hell of a lot longer than that. And the irony of the whole situation is that if we run our animal shelter properly, we're talking about being involved in a $30 billion business. You make that shelter friendly to the volunteers, and the only way you're going to do that is to solve the problem at the top. Do I have to be any more explicit?
No.
I'm not asking for the gentleman, and I use that word very loosely in Lou's case, very, very loosely. He's almost a despicable human being on the
Come on,
record.
Rex.
Anyway, if you run that shelter, properly, again, it'll pay for itself. But you're going to have to do something at the top. And I'm here to remind you that, as I said to Councilman Wooten way back when, we want a resolve to this situation. This has been going on far too long. We're not asking for a firing. We're not asking for a reduction in seniority. We're not asking for a reduction in pay. This is not going to cost the town a dime.
Rex, I won't discuss anymore, but we're working on several things.
Good. That was my question. What is your timetable here,
Oh, fairly
ladies and
quickly.
gentlemen?
My issue is this. I've been at this 13 months. Obviously, I don't want to do battle with the people, the animal lovers. I mean, I have a dog, I have a cat, I have a three-legged cat.
Great, Sean. I'm glad to hear it.
You know, I'm not the enemy, and I realize that the bottom line in all of this is we're not properly caring for the
It's
animals.
an understatement.
And for as long as we have the animals in the shelter, they will receive proper care, period.
You can't guarantee that. It hasn't happened in the past,
going
Sean.
to happen.
It has not happened in the past, as recently as a month ago.
I'm telling
And granted, you may have been lied to, but that's inexcusable.
Friday.
Sorry.
The
Happy
vet
New Year.
The Friday, the vet will be there, and he will go through the first half of the dogs. He may come back before that. But
Can I make another suggestion?
But the following Thursday, this will be
Pay
on
attention
work
to the committee that was put into place. People that have actually gone to seminars to help the town of Riverhead to run a shelter properly.
session. I understand.
I hope you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Hadoff.
Where are you from, Mr. Hadoff?
Riverhead. I'm the president of CSCA, Town of Riverhead Employees. On the 2009 storm, the state of emergency was lifted at 8:30 in the morning, and the supervisor didn't close town hall. That was the reason for that step. And as far as the animal shelter, I'll leave that alone for another day.
That's a good idea.
Thanks, Matt.
It's
Thank you,
just,
Matt.
we'll leave it alone.
We'll work through the issue. Does anybody else wish to be heard?
Maybe.
We're definitely gonna work through the issue.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Dr. Frank Mosca. I'm the president of RSVP, and I'm here to second what Rex Farr has said. We've been at the process of attempting to right the wretched and inexcusable conditions at the animal shelter for many years. We've done our best to be rational, and we've done our best to be cooperative, and we've done our best to operate within the rules and regulations of the town. We've importuned the town over and over again in order to change procedures that were inhumane. We've made a small amount of progress in that direction. But as Rex has indicated, there have been elements at the shelter, and in particular one individual, who simply refused to cooperate in the implementation of humane procedures that, by the way, obtain in all the other towns out here on the East End. It has been remarkable to me to observe over the years the enormous amount of time spent by the members of the various boards that I've appeared before to take care of an animal shelter. Surely the taxpayers of this town deserve better than to have all of you occupy your precious time in a town that requires a great deal of attention with what goes on in an animal shelter. Something that could have been taken care of years ago by simply a rational engagement, by looking by example to your neighboring towns to see what was occurring there and how easily a rational solution was able to be found. We are at a juncture, I am hoping, where the evidence at hand has finally accumulated to a critical point and where there is a sufficient amount of rationality and goodwill so that real changes may be forthcoming. We are, however, as patient as we are and as hopeful and hoping in the goodwill and the rationality of the members of the board, we are not endlessly patient. And so the board should be aware that we are looking carefully and observing and will be vigilant unendingly until such time as humane conditions are implemented at that animal shelter and that people can be assured in the town of Riverhead that their representatives have attended to it and that in an ongoing fashion the animals who do end up in that facility are humanely cared for, are vetted, and are, whenever possible, adopted out.
You have my attention. I will tell you that Dr. LaCar, this is the notes, that we're going to be treating the dogs for hookworms, whipworms, intestinal parasites, and any other necessary tests that they need to be. I find it inexcusable that I may have dogs in the shelter that have parasites, that have heartworm. I don't know why it took so long to have regular veterinarian care. That'll be taken care of. And there are points that we will, we'll have an open dialogue. There may be points that we don't disagree, but we'll always have an open dialogue. I think you know Carol Sclafani from my office. You may or may not know her. This is not usually something that, as you said, the board doesn't necessarily we want it to work properly, and we don't want to spend an exorbitant amount of time on this, but we will get it, Dr. Mosca, we will get it to work properly, and we're working towards it.
And Frank, I would expect nothing less than your diligence and your continued striving towards what you and I both know have to be done at that shelter. And it's more than just making sure that the animals are medically safe, although that's paramount, but it's also a structure and a more willingness to engage volunteers and to make it a more community oriented. So yes, there is a second prong that we're not addressing on this level, or at least at that seat, but we are addressing as a board. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Just to reiterate again, that you have a very passionate group of intelligent people who have eyes on the shelter.
I had
will
noticed,
not rest
Doctor.
Until such time as they are satisfied that humane conditions have been implemented and that there are structures in place to make sure those humane conditions are sustained.
There's several things going on right now that all in totality will probably address every one of your issues, and I know what they are. So.
Yeah, okay. Very well. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, sir. What type of doctor are you?
Psychologist.
Oh, wait, I could use some work there.
How many times has the animal shelter, the dog pound, whatever you want to call it, how many times has it failed a state inspection in the last 10 years?
Never.
Never.
As far as I know.
I mean, as inhumanely as those animals are being treated as per volunteers are claiming.
From a state standpoint, we run actually we've received high marks from the state on that animal shelter.
So anything we do above and beyond that
is great.
It's just that. It's above and beyond that.
You're right.
And it's spending taxpayers' dollars that really aren't necessarily spent, but it's the right thing to do.
But Matt, it's much bigger than that.
No, it's not much bigger than that. I sit here and I listen to these guys. All they do is badmouth the people that work there. If they were that bad, you would have got rid of them a long time ago. A long time ago.
We'll work through it,
all
Matt.
Right, we'll
make
sure we do there, by guy. All right?
All right. Does anybody else wish to be heard?
We'll take care of it right quick. You'll get your wish.
Hi, my name is, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Sue Hanson. I'm from Rocky Point. I'm here to talk about the animal shelter. I'll just make one comment about state inspections.
Yeah, I'm not
they
sure I
are
see
not
it.
they are not the benchmark of a humane shelter. Make no mistake about that. They require bare minimum in terms of
gonna say,
passing, and
their
it's a
standards aren't that
pass-fail evaluation, and you don't want to use that to judge the quality of your own animal shelter. With regard to the animal shelter, if possible, I'd like to get some sort of time frame with regard to resolving this Bruno investigation and also Pat Lynch's status as a volunteer.
I don't know that there is a time frame for an investigation, but
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I can. I can tell you that it's on the top of my desk. In fact, if you look at my desk, you see it right on top of my desk. We haven't had an executive session as a town board since I've concluded the investigation, so I'm not going to give you a time frame either.
and
Okay.
I can tell
But
you
I can
that-
tell you it's going to be post haste. That I can tell you. It will come to a head at the first probably tomorrow after 1 o'clock.
Well, I'm encouraged to hear that. It did occur, the euthanasia of this particular dog occurred December 21st. It's nearly a month later. I think there's less than a half a dozen people that are probably directly involved with it, so I don't think that it's an overly complex investigation that needs to occur, and I'd hope that some resolution is going to come soon. Aside from that, I recognize that you're headed in the right direction. There's several areas where there's room for improvement at the animal shelter. Veterinary services is definitely one of them, but it's not the only one. With regard to personnel, it's come up in discussion that a director might be considered at the animal shelter, which I think would be an excellent decision. It's important to keep in mind, though, that a director in and of itself is not a panacea for a good shelter. You need a good director. Okay, that's the operative word. You need somebody at the management level that knows how to deal with the different situations that come up in an animal shelter, that knows how to deal with volunteers, that can get the support that they need to run the shelter properly. And should that come to fruition, I hope you'll very carefully select the person that would take on that responsibility. Which brings up a concern I have about other new hires that I've heard about happening at the animal shelter. Since the end of December, I know that one in particular, one full-time employee was laid off, and that was Sean McCabe. But since then, efforts or some activity has been underway to hire back part-time employees, namely a part-time ACO and a part-time kennel attendant.
part-time ACO, and we're looking into an on-call kennel attendant, not a part-time kennel attendant, somebody that's on call.
Okay. My question would be, was that part-time ACO position, was it advertised?
Yes, it's being advertised right now.
It's currently open for
Yes.
application?
Yes, it may be something that's advertised first in-house, and then after in-house, it goes to the outside.
And
It'll be
what
offered.
are the qualifications?
You're gonna have to look that up. I don't have that
Okay,
information.
well, that's significant.
Well, I'm not the personnel director.
It's part of the posting.
You'd have to just
I don't
look
have
at the
a copy of the
posting.
Is it posted on the board outside?
Maybe.
Okay, it's important to recognize, though, that the ACO position, it's not as important as a director, obviously, but the ACO is the first person that a dog running at large comes into contact with. And how that animal is handled is going to impact that animal's behavior at the shelter. It's extremely important that you get the right person in that position, somebody who can handle animals and handle them properly. It's important to consider their experience, and it's important to consider their qualifications, and not just take a person based on some sort of standardized
union test.
We're governed by civil service, Ms. Hanson.
But
so
you're still, it's
we're
still a,
governed by
there's still a
civil ser-
judgment
we're
call
governed
there.
by civil service law. We will go through the applications as they come in. We will interview them, and a decision will be made.
Right, and you still have a judgment call to make, whether that person is the right person for that particular job.
Right. Well, of course, we're going to pick the best qualified to handle it.
Well, I would hope that you would not only pick the best person that applies, but I hope you'd pick the right person. And if the people that apply are not the right people, that you would take that into consideration.
We understand your
We're going
point.
to take the best qualified, there's no doubt.
Okay, and by qualified, it goes beyond just passing a civil service
That's
test.
what the residents of Riverhead elect us to do with every job that we fill, and we take that seriously.
Okay, well, the track record
Is excellent.
speaks for itself.
Absolutely excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Our
And
record of
that's
hiring.
about it. Thank you for your time.
Yes, since you got here, maybe.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard tonight? Mr. Romano again?
I wasn't going to talk about the animal shelter, but is it a town law that we actually have a town-operated animal shelter? Did
We have
ever
a
take
municipal shelter in town of Riverhead for the last 40-something years, yes.
Yeah, but is it by town law we have to have it?
Well, we have to.
Yeah.
There's a
Well, it's
requirement.
Ags and Markets law, actually.
There's a requirement for us to have an animal control, a dog catcher. And when we catch dogs, Ag Markets requires to hold the dogs for 5 days. The town code requires us to hold them for 7 days. So you need a place to hold them for 5 or 7 days. What happens after that 5 or 7 days is the discretion of the town.
Did we ever consider privatizing or maybe talking to Southold and doing a consolidation kind of thing?
Yeah, we've
Well,
been
where he's
working.
been- where
Go
he's
ahead,
been
Jim,
doing-
take it away.
No, yes or no, that's all, you know.
Yes, of course. I mean,
Thank you.
you have to read the paper for the last 3 years, yeah, we're
Well,
trying.
Jim's been working on an RFP, trying to get the shelter
Well, we did an
privatized, or
RFP, but
looking in
we're
the
still-
direction of doing that.
Okay. Anybody else wish to be heard? Well, it's been a wonderful evening. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
No,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I want to table.
All in favor?
I want to table that.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
You did not.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
See if you make your face.
But if he closes it, he's going to give us more money.